Hi everyone. My name is Ruth Cruz, but my friends call me Ruru. I'm already in New Zealand. I am a registered nurse in the Philippines. I am currently working as a healthcare assistant in CCDHP in Wellington.
All right, so for this video, we are going to share Nurse Ruru's experience on how to create a CGFNS account, complete your profile, and submit the relevant documents. So first and foremost, please do read the CVS NCNZ Handbook and Nursing Council website. I will write the link below, but I think it's very important that you start reading this first so that when you watch vlogs like this one, you kind of have an idea what the people are talking about. And Nursing Council website, which I think is very straightforward.
User-friendly siya actually. Just siguro, kasi parang pag na-read mo handbook, parang feeling mo ang daming babasahin. Pero hindi, actually, few pages lang siya. That's very straight to the point naman yung instructions. So, yun. Actually, most ng mga question, frequently asked questions rather, nandun naman sa handbook actually. Siguro kailangan na talaga mag-take time magbasa ng handbook, saka frequently asked questions sa website ng CGFNS and Nursing Council.
Correct. And I've also created different videos about your CGFNS application. I divided it into step 1, step 2, step 3, and frequently asked questions. So have a look. And then the second part is completing your My Profile in the CGFNS dashboard. We'll go through each section and then submitting your form specifically for identity, education, license registration, and employment. Okay, disclaimer, we're not agents, we're not consultancy businesses as well. We are just nurses trying to help other nurses. So all information presented are based on personal experience only. If you do have any questions with your application, please always contact CGFNS or Nursing Council New Zealand. Creating a CGFNS account, after you read the handbook and look at the Nursing Council website, you can watch this short montage of how to create a CGFNS account. Notes to NZ. Number 2, complete My Profile on CGFNS dashboard, and we'll go through each section. So, once you create your CGFNS account, the next page that you'll see looks something like this if you are using your mobile phone. So you'll have the home page there, My Profile, shopping cart, ano parang Shopee, parang Lazada lang. Lazada yata to eh. There's an option for more, your name, notification bell, and just the information. Here, you can upload a photo. Do you have to?
Yeah.
Pwedeng hindi naman.
Yes. Actually, hindi ka makaka-proceed pag walang picture.
Totoo yan?
I'm not sure kasi hindi ko siya na-experience, pero I've encountered one member din sa group chat na nagtanong na bakit hindi siya maka-proceed. Sabi ko, nag-upload ka na ba ng picture? Tapos after daw niya mag-upload, nakapag-proceed siya. So mukhang picture talaga yung problema. So feeling ko baka yun.
Interesting. Let us know in the comment section below, guys, if you encountered that problem. And when you were on the CGFNS account page, you'll see here they'll ask you for your email and for your phone number. So it will just be automatically populated on your profile page here. And just do note that they ask for your passport number. So one CGFNS account is equal to one passport. So hindi pwede mag-duplicate. Sinubukan ko rin gumawa sana eh. Pero hindi pala pwede. So I think this is just a good reminder na whatever information that you are going to write in your CGFNS account, just remember it's difficult to create another account if you want to correct the information, di ba, no?
Yeah, and siguro avoid din nila yung parang erroneous entry. Kasi parang pag marami ka ring error, ang hirap magpa-edit eh. So parang make sure na ilagay lahat ng correct info.
That's why it's really good that, if you guys watch this video first, so para alam niyo yung i-expect niyo what the tabs will look like, what the questions are gonna be there, and then your mind will focus, ito, ganito yung sasagot ko, ganito yung tanong, ganyan. As you can see in this information, under the available application, next to available applications, it says account balance. Bakit sa'yo 250? Di ba 300 USD to?
Kasi nabayaran ko na yung 300. So parang meron pa siyang additional option for another, parang yun na yung emergency something. So parang kung gusto ko mag-purchase ng another parang CGFNS something na ganun. Pero for emergency na yan, 250. So wala, dead man na yan.
So ayun, may budget siya eh. Joke lang. Yeah, so the fee for CGFNS is $300, and it was important that you pointed out CVS NZNZ is only valid for a year, which means if you were unable to complete all the requirements within that period, you can apply for an extension, but unfortunately, you will have to pay for that again. Tama ba?
$120?
Ay, ganun. Lang discount.
US dollars? Parang ganun.
Under the available applications, you can see here that with Ruru's application, it already shows tick because she's already completed hers. So if you're still starting, what you'll actually see is step 1, service selector, step 2, my profile, and then step 3, apply and then pay. So if you are starting, you'll just have to click step 1, service selector, and it will look something like this. It'll ask you for what purpose do you need the service for, and just click licensure with the Nursing Council of New Zealand. And then it'll ask you for select the nursing title, so obviously registered nurse, and then click submit. For weekly videos about nursing and living in New Zealand, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you will know when I upload new videos just like this one. Salamat po! Tama ba yun?
Tapos yan pala, common din yan. Na kung bakit hindi sila makapag-proceed ng payment. Kasi hindi nila na-move yung registered nurse dun sa kabilang box. So if may yung nakikita nilang arrow na pointing towards dun sa next empty box, yan, move nila yung registered nurse into yun, dun sa next box na yun. Tapos magla-lock na yun, and then you submit. Pag hindi mo kasi siya ginawa, mahirapan.
You actually drag it, not click it.
Yeah, you can drag. I've never tried yung drag, pero ang na-try ko is pag click mo si registered nurse, di ba may arrow na pointing towards to the empty box?
This one selected.
Yeah, yan. Pag click mo siya, mag-move si registered nurse dun sa selected. And then submit. Yun yung sa experience ko.
Hirap naman ito si GFNS. Parang ako nagbo-board exam. Parang mas madaling option.
Kailangan hindi ka puyat, ganun. Oo.
Parang kailangan fresh yung mind mo. Hindi pwedeng galing duty.
Correct.
All right. So assuming that the registered nurse is now on the other side and they're selected, and then you hit submit. The next thing to do is click step 2, my profile. So if you do go to your profile right there, you'll see something like this if you're viewing it from a desktop. Now, be mindful that I got a screenshot from an applicant, so I'm not sure if this is still how it looks like. But basically, what you'll have on top will be the homepage, your profile, shopping cart, transaction history, and then support. And then on the left-hand side, I think you have 13 tabs. These are the information that you have to complete. And then in the main screen, you'll see the information of whatever tab you clicked. In the screenshot, they click the additional documentation. That's why you can see that in the main page. And I think on this side, you'll see the transaction history, if I'm not mistaken. I will show you what it looks like on a mobile phone. Just ignore the top bit here kasi nga sabi ko sa inyo, biba to si Nurse Ruru, tapos niya na lahat. 100%, tick.
Tapos na siya.
Yes. But if you are looking from a mobile phone, what you will see is something like this, my profile, and then again, the 13 tabs. And syempre pa, disclaimer ko lang ulit, all information presented here are based on personal experience only, and this is just to guide the nurses, okay? If you have any questions, CGFNS po ang kailangan niyong tawagan. All right, so we'll go through each tab. Hope you guys are comfortable wherever you're watching this video from, because this is going to be a long-ass video. All right, thank you, Nurse Ruru, again for providing all the screenshots. Nag-effort to siya, guys, for you, ha?
No worries.
So first part is personal information. So you have their email address, your first name, middle name, title. Ang title to mga Mr. Miss, ganyan lang. Country of birth, marital status, language, speak fluently and then write fluently. Use another name. Oh, is this the maiden name? Ganyan?
Yes, oo.
Tapos dito.
I added, you click here to add additional name. I added my maiden name.
Okay. Tapos dito, legal family name, last name, suffixes, date of birth, gender, and then first language.
Very common yung kailangan ba nila mag-add ng additional name? Or yung hindi mga nag-add ng additional name, ano yung mga nangyayari sa kanila? So usually for female applicants naman to kung married name na, kung married na, i-add na nila yung maiden name nila dito pa lang sa first part na to. Kasi, syempre, like yung diploma natin, hindi pa naman, unless you're married na when you graduated from college. Pero, yun nga, since single ka naman, maiden name yung gamit mo nung nakalagay sa diploma, or maybe hindi ka pa nag-renew for PRC as married, para kung i-submit mo man sila, naka-declare na dyan yung maiden name mo. So, mailalagay mo dun sa mga next tabs kung ano yung name na nakalagay dun sa card, name na nakalagay sa certificate, ganyan.
Sige, mag-isip tayo ng ano sa mga magandang apelido. Anderson.
Kunwari, Smith, wow.
Yeah,
Smith.
sige, girl.
Halimbawa, nung dalaga ko, ang name ko is Ruth Ann Sanchez Smith. Wow.
Yes.
Yun yung maiden name ko. So, by the time na nag-married ako, ang lalagay ko na sa taas is, yun, as in married name na Ruth Ann Smith Cruz. Parang ganun.
Okay. Alright.
Sa maiden name ko, lalagay ko pa rin na as Ruth Ann Sanchez Smith. Yun, ganun.
Thank you. I hope that makes sense, guys. Lalo na sa mga married applicant natin dyan.
Yeah, very important for female applicants.
Moving on, we'll go to the contact information. So we have there the mailing address. In your case, I think you were already in New Zealand, no? When you started applying, that's why you have here New Zealand as your mailing country. But obviously, if you're still in the Philippines, Middle East, or Singapore, ilagay niyo yung address kung saan niyo ma-receive yung mga mails niyo. What else is your main phone number and an alternate phone number? Okay, I think that's very straightforward. Pero meron ka bang nare-receive na questions dyan?
Wala naman so far. Wala naman. Very
Okay. So now we'll move on to identity documents. Now, medyo maliit yan, guys. So I'm so sorry. You have to squint. I'm not sure if I can. Nope, ayaw niya kong pa-zoom in. So the first, so you actually have to provide 2 identity documents there, right? One is a passport and then one is a government issue photo ID. Let me just see if I can zoom in sa isa kong monitor dahil marami akong monitor. Okay, parang akong customer support service.
Correct.
Ano yung isa mo pang government ID na pin-provide?
Bale, sinubmit ko was passport, PRC ID, and marriage certificate.
Okay.
Kasi my passport and government ID are all in married name na. So, wala na akong naka-single name nun. So, I think the only way for them to verify my maiden name would be in the marriage certificate.
So, in that information, so you have your passport, your name, ID type, document number, date of birth, kung kailan in-issue, and then expiration date ng ID. What else? Your country issuing it. So, that's good. Tapos, yung nasa government ID. Same thing, kung kailan in-issue, kung may expiration date. So, yeah, I think you just have to complete that information. Tapos, marriage certificate. Paano lumabas tong marriage certificate na section? Nag-add ka lang.
Yan, dun sa green, na parang makikita na parang, what do you call this? You add new identity document. I suggest na add na nila agad. Huwag na nila antayin na. Kasi yung iba parang, since ang instruction naman is submit to parang identifications, parang yung iba hindi nagsasubmit ng marriage certificate. So, tumatagal. So, I suggest na add na nila kung alam naman nilang married sila. Na, especially for female. For the male, parang hindi naman. Ayun.
Tama yung sinabi mo. Kasi nga, paano kung halimbawa yung PRC license mo, nasa maiden name mo pa, ganyan. Tapos, yung pangalan mo na ginagamit mo na ngayon is apelido na ng asawa mo. So, it's just gonna unify everything na, oo, may marriage certificate ako, kaya iba yung apelido ko at the moment. Okay.
That's right.
Next is education history. Tapos, ang hindi ko alam is you actually have to provide from elementary. Akala ko ano lang, university lang.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if it's really required na parang ilagay mo. Pero parang kasi since it's a history, so parang ako, I personally input yung from kinder, lahat na, parang wala na silang tanong and wala nang gaps. Kung
Okay.
magtatanong pa sila na, kung ano, kailan ka nag-ulit ka ba or what. So parang, since hindi naman nila hihinga ng verification yung from kinder mo, so parang ako, nilagay ko lang. Tapos
Oo.
parang commonly asked question din is, kailangan ba yung date ng, yung parang start day ng school and end date, kailangan eksakto ba? Hindi. Approximate date is sobrang okay lang. Wala na. Ako personally, wala ako naging problem. Lahat ng dates ko dyan, approximate kasi hindi ko na din naman talaga maalala.
Oo.
Yun. So, yun. Ako, nilagay ko na lang din from the very, very start. Tapos, may mga natatanong, what if nagpalipat-lipat ako ng high school, nagpalipat-lipat ako ng grade school, okay lang din yun, lagay mo lang lahat. Kasi ako din, personally, ang dami ko rin school from grade school to high school. So, nilagay ko din siya. Nag-change name yung school, pinalitan ko din. So, ayun, wala naman naging problema sa experience ko. Pagdating sa college, yun lang naman ang hihinga ng verification ng CGFNS kung saan ka graduate ng nursing. Tapos, meron din pala nag-share before na parang, like, halimbawa, what if 2 schools sila, parang first and second year nila sa ibang university and then lumipat sila for the third and fourth year nila. So, alin ang hininga ng CGFNS? May nag-share na ang hiningan lang ng CGFNS was yung third and fourth year. Pero meron din naman na nag-share din na hiningan both. So, medyo hassle for dun sa isa na hiningan both. Siguro, swerte nung, ako feeling ko lang, ako not an expert, hindi ko to alam, hindi ako taga CGFNS, but I'm assuming lang na siguro, baka in-include na kasi yung third and fourth year na pinagraduatean ng school, yung pinasa niyang syllabus or TOR from dun sa first and second year dun sa dati niyang school.
Totoo.
Kaya mukhang complete na-satisfy na yung, kumbaga satisfied na yung CGFNS dun sa syllabus or curriculum. But yeah, assuming lang ako. So, not sure.
Thank you for that information. Tapos, ang question ko pala, ito lang, I think you've already touched on this one, pero meron akong nakausap before, parang sabi niya, yun nga, when she was completing her profile, naglagay siya ng estimation start date and end date for her university sa nursing, and then nung na-print na yung mga forms, tapos binigay na sa school niya, iba naman yung date. So, okay lang ba yun na parang they tweak the date a little bit? Kasi, yun nga, yung nasa school, alam nilang exact date, pero siya, nag-estimate lang siya. Okay lang ba yun?
Yeah, I think, kumbaga hindi siya sobrang strict. Kasi alam nila na hindi na natin yan siguro naaalala. So, kung ano yung isubmit ng school, yun na yung nilalagay nila. So, ako, nung nakita ko din siya actually yung akin, iba yung start date ko kasi hindi ko na maalala yun, tsaka yung graduation date. Pero, nung nandun na siya sa form, at least, alam nung school kung anong date talaga ako nag-start. And, kumbaga, mas alam nila yun kasi nasa record nila. So, okay lang yun, I think.
As long as same yung year, no? Parang okay naman yung year. Pag yung year yung medyo malayo, parang yun yung delikado.
Oo, tama.
So, yun. Just going back here in this information education history. So, the questions that they'll ask there is the name of your school, education level, address, country, website. May website ba yung school namin? And then...
Yung ibang Facebook eh.
Oh, talaga? Pwede pala yun. Zip code, start date, and end date. Ayan. Tapos, what's the next one? Oh, ayan nga pala, nursing. Shout out sa school ni Ma'am Nurse Ruru, FEU, Tamara. Okay, next is about employment history. And then I think you also included information about employment na hindi nursing related. Kailangan yun talaga?
Ako, I personally added them kasi ang husband ko, kasi nauna siya dito eh. So, siya yung taga-instruct sa akin sa application forms ko. Sabi niya sa akin, lagay ko na lahat para walang question yung nursing council for any gaps. Kasi kung halimbawa, let's say, hindi ko ilagay yung, kumbaga, may nasingit na non-nursing experience. Magtatanong pa yung nursing council na, parang ano yung ginawa mo from this span of time? Since registered license ka naman, pero anong ginawa mo nung time na to? Parang ganun. So at least, for them not to question pa yung application ko and kumbaga mas cost efficient siya. Ayun, so I added everything from non-nursing to up to dun sa last ko.
Okay. And then I'll just try and zoom in sa kabilang monitor ko para makita ko kung anong laman ng employment history if it'll let me. So ito yung from graduation, yung parang first na naging job. Paano pag unemployed? Kunyari, wala kang naging trabaho talaga.
Okay lang naman. Kung
okay lang.
ano naman, usually kapag nasa nursing council naman na yung application, hingi sila ng CV or manghingi sila siguro magtatanong sila anong reason why may gap, ganyan.
Okay. So,
pero ako lang parang ayoko na kasi na magtatanong pa sila.
Totoo. Tama yan. So, ang questions included there would be, was this employment for your profession? Yes or no? If no, what discipline was this for? Tapos, employer's name, address, country, website, and then name of your supervisor, start date, end date, tapos kung full-time or part-time. Tama ba yun?
Yes.
And then it's just, and then you have just, there's an option to add another parang job title again and work experience again. Okay.
Tapos parang may nagtanong din pala dyan, does it have to be parang in ascending order or descending order? Feeling ko, it doesn't matter kasi ang titignan naman ni nursing count. Ako kasi personally, meron ako dyan na mix up. Parang may nauna. So hindi siya yung parang in order. Pero nakuha pa rin naman ni CGFNS kung alin yung hihinga nila ng verification. So, syempre, titignan pa rin naman nila kung ano yung based on dun sa dates, dun sa requirements nila. So, I don't think it matters.
Okay, that's good.
Yun.
And yung kaninang pinag-usapan natin earlier on na may mga forms na hinihingi for identity, education, employment history, and license registration. All of those forms will be based on the information that you provide on this My Profile page. So, for example, you have like 3 employers in the last 5 years. They'll give you parang 3 forms, no? Tama ba yun?
It depends. Usually kasi based dun sa experience din ng karamihan.
Okay.
If, for example, dun sa last 5 years mo meron ka, halimbawa yun, 3 jobs, 3 ka ng employers from the last 5 years. Probably sino man dun yung may at least 2 years. Pero kung sino yung may mas previous pa, kung ano yung pinaka mas latest. Kung halimbawa, yung, ano date pa, 2021, may current job ka 2015 to 2016, halimbawa St. Luke's. And then 2017 to 2019, nasa Capital Medical Center ka. And then from 2019 to present is nasa Makati Med ka. So, most probably ang hinya nila is yung Makati Med kasi enough naman na siya. Meron kang enough na 2 years doon. Unless hindi pa sila masatisfy, hihingi sila doon sa mas sumunod sa Capital Med. But usually sa experience na sinishare ng karamihan, kung meron naman silang at least 2 years dun sa pinaka-present or previous nila, enough naman na kay Nursing Council.
Interesting information, guys. Take note of that. All right. Next would be, sinama mo yung experience mo as healthcare assistant as well. And then now we'll talk more about the license registration exam. So, experience mo for dito? May mga questions ba sila?
Actually, date pa din. Parang does it have to be the exact date na kailan sila nag-exam? Ako, I personally remember kung kailan yun. Pero parang tinanong nga ba? Tinanong yun eh. So ako, I personally remember kailan yung board exam ko. So I was able to put it there. Pero siguro, baka hindi naman siya. Kasi i-release pa rin naman ng PRC yun sa report na isasubmit nila. So, mas magbe-base pa rin naman sa CGFNS sa isasubmit ni PRC kaysa sa tinype ko dyan. Yun.
So, under this tab, existing license registration exam history, the questions are, was this registration exam for your profession? Yes or no? Profession for which you sat for a licensure examination. So, lagay mo lang registered nurse. Formal name of the exam. So, Philippine Nursing Licensure Exam. Country. How many times did you take this exam? O, di ba? 1 take lang si madam. Did you pass the exam? Yes. Tapos, location. And then recent date that you wrote the exam, and then did the passing of the exam result in a license in this jurisdiction. And I've also watched other parang vlogs then. I think they have, some of the applicants may have multiple registration, say USRN sila, or meron silang nurse license sa Middle East, ganyan. Ang suggestion nila is if hindi ka naman nag-practice doon or nagpa-practice doon at the moment, wag mo na lang daw ilagay. But I'm not sure what your thoughts on that.
Yes, I think this tab is for the, kung halimbawa sa exam history. Parang yung sa licenses, I think dun sa next pa yun eh. Pero parang kung siguro may exam, baka kasi di ba minsan may exam din naman bago sila makakuha ng license. Hindi ko kasi na-try pero lalagay din nila siguro dyan in case meron silang parang exam history for that certain license.
Yeah. And then yung isa ko pang nakita is sabi nila, if I'm not mistaken kunyari UKRN ka, tapos expired na yung PRC license mo, parang okay lang naman din naman yun, di ba? Tama ba?
Parang sabi nila na
may isa kang active license kung saan country ka man nagpa-practice. Alright.
Oo, pero yun nga, basta kung di sila nag-practice doon, huwag na nila ilagay kasi sobrang pahirapan sila kasi
dagdag
mahirap kumuha.
Dagdag alalahanin. Simple is better. Ayan.
Yes.
KISS. Keep it super simple. Oh, di ba?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Next would be license registration confirmation. So dito, tignan lang nila kung meron pang ipapagawa sa'yo. But in Nurse Ruru's case, sabi naman, there are no unconfirmed licenses currently for you to review. So that's okay. May mga iba ba na may lumalabas na parang instructions dito?
Di ako pa naka-encounter so far na nag-share sa group.
Okay, so that's good. And then next would be license registration. So, anong laman nito?
Ayan, yan na yung
okay.
yung pinaka-license mo na kung anong meron kang mga licenses.
Hawak mo, oo.
Ako currently, ako wala naman akong ibang naging license kundi yung sa PRC lang. So, yan. Tapos parang add ko lang din, yung pag nakikita nila yung mga gray areas, yung mga gray na boxes, yan yung mga hindi na talaga na-edit eh. So, make sure na kung ano man ang ilagay nila dyan is dapat yun yung talaga yung sagot nila. Kasi ang hirap na niyang ipa-edit and ipa-delete. Yun.
Okay. Good
parang pag tinype nyo, siguro bago nyo siya i-submit, parang read it multiple times or have someone read it for you. Check it for you too. Ako talagang chinek ko siya tapos pinabasa ko sa husband ko. Tingnan mo nga kung baka kasi magkamali ako or ayoko na kasi magpaulit. So, yun, siguro, minsan kasi, di ba, naging impulsive tayo, okay na yan, alam ko na yan, sure na yan dyan. But then, magugulat ka na, mali pala yung date, mali yung ganito, yun. So, ang hirap.
Then, I think yung questions lang dito for confirming the license registration, was it for your profession, yes or no? Same question kagaya kanina. Name of the authority, professional body, city, postal code, email address, title, country. Is your license valid for life? Tapos date last renewed, license status kung active or hindi. Profession, address ng PRC, website ng PRC and then license number, date issued sa PRC and expiration date, and then method of licensure. And with us, I think it's by body examination. So yan. Click submit. Ito pala sa taas, yung merong add new license registration. So, kung may mga taga Middle East dyan, taga Singapore. And one thing information I've gathered as well, sa mga nasa UK, di ba, Nursing Midwifery Council naman kayo. Sa kanila pala parang may mga kiniklik-click lang online. So,
okay.
Di ba sa forms ng, sa atin, di ba, mag-fill up ng forms yung PRC later on at the end of the stage. Sa kanila, parang they can just click on their NMC account and then ilalagay lang nila as recipient yung CGFNS USA. So, medyo mas straightforward sa kanila that way.
Okay.
Alright, next would be continuing education. Lagi rin tinatanong sa akin to, tapos hindi ko rin alam yung sagot. Ano ba nilalagay dyan?
Meron member who's kind enough to share, talagang nagtanong siya sa CGFNS, kasi ang parang iniisip nila, continuing education, is it yung kung nag-masteral ka? Or is it yung mga CPD units na tinitake mo, yung mga certificate, yung mga trainings, ganyan. So, nag-reply si CGFNS sa kanya, sinabi, anything na you earn a degree or a diploma, you put it in the education history. So, for the master's, education history siya. So, si continuing education, dyan nag-fall yung mga CPD, yung mga certificates, or yung siguro yung mga, iba yung mga trainings, ganyan. So, I think, dyan siya nilalagay. Ako, I personally did not put anything in there.
Yeah.
Kasi, naisip ko baka ma-hassle. Tapos, knowing nursing New Zealand naman. Knowing New Zealand, yes. Di ba parang up to date naman, lagi may study days, ganyan. So, hindi ko naman sasabing it won't matter to them. Pero parang feeling ko parang siguro save ko na lang yun sa CV.
Totoo,
Ganon.
tama.
Yes,
I think
diba?
with the other applicants that I've heard as well, even yung mga nagko-complete ng masters nila, hindi rin nila nilagay sa education history because they felt like it's gonna be a hassle with the application.
Totoo.
And yun nga, as long as you meet, I think, the minimum requirements for nursing council registration, I think that's enough anyway. That's just my point of view anyway. And then marami din akong nakausap na they left this section blank and then okay naman yung naging application nila. Siyempre, hindi din alam if there's gonna be changes in the future, but at the moment, it's parang okay naman.
Oh, yes. Living proof, I did not put anything in there.
Alright, next one is certification. Ano tong? Professional certification. Ano na naman to?
Parang ito yung halimbawa, specialty certificates mo. Parang halimbawa, isa kang diabetes nurse.
Oo.
So parang dito ata ilalagay mo yung certificate mo na certified ka dun sa specific specialty na yun, if I'm not mistaken.
Siguro multiple sclerosis nurse specialist ka ganyan and meron kang special license, you can definitely upload here. But again, if you don't have that specialty, it's totally fine, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, leave it.
Yeah, I left it blank. Walang problema.
So submit lang tayo. And then next would be language proficiency. IELTS or OET lang to, di ba? Tama ba yun?
Yes, IELTS or OET lang. PTE is not accepted dito sa...
So
for residency, pwede.
In this section, you just have to write your test report form, candidate number, and then date of exam. So hindi ka pa dito magko-connect ng ano?
Oo, parang i-reflect mo lang dyan yung,
okay.
yung test report form mo.
I think yung next slide ko is actually connecting it, but it's probably more related later, no? So pag nandun ka na sa mga forms na section. Okay, so for now, you just provide the information about your language proficiency exam na tinake mo. And again, if you are a nurse from UK, Ireland, or Canada, and you took an English exam to get your registration there, they can actually waive their English test. Kahit na expired na, no? Bongga. Kayo na.
Basta si nursing council lang magsasabi nun sa'yo. Parang, kaso mo lang, ganun, parang ganun.
But for Singapore nurses, you still have to take English test. So, sama-sama tayo.
Correct.
And then, additional documentation. Anong nilalagay dito?
Ako, parang wala ata ako nilagay
dito. Wala ka na nilagay dito. Okay, cool.
Kasi parang nasama ko na yung sa, dito, marriage certificate ko, sinama ko na sa identity.
Sa taas na, yeah. Naka-group na siya.
Parang, siguro kung meron ka pang gusto mong ilagay pa na feeling mo hindi na satisfied dun sa 13 tabs na yan. Ayan, siguro dyan mo na lang ilagay.
And then finally, we have the profession information. Ito ba, automated to? Dahil kinlik mo na siya kanina?
Oo, yun yung kanina ginawa natin. Kung i-move nila, ayan, mag-move dun sa selected option siya.
And then click submit.
Yes.
Okay. And then the next part would be your, yay, na-complete na natin kunyari lahat. Pero syempre pa, wala pa tayo dito sa top. Ito lang tayo sa baba. Ito lang tayo sa baba. So the next step, so sabi natin kanina, we've created a CGFNS account, napunta tayo sa dashboard, nagawa tayo ng service selector, my profile. Ngayon, magbabayad na tayo sa CGFNS apply and pay. Question ko pala, paano yun? Kunyari, wala pa akong OET. Pwede ba na kahit hindi ko completed yung profile page ko, magbabayad na ako? Pwede ba yun?
Kung kahit na wala ka pang OET or wala ka pang English language test, pwede ka mag-proceed sa payment.
Bayad agad, okay.
Oo, okay lang. Pwede. Basta complete na yung profile mo. Basta mag-green na lahat, mag-tick na lahat yung sa requirements nung okay na yun sa
so
CGFNS.
I still have to complete information for my identity, education, employment. Kailangan ko pa rin yung i-provide.
Yes.
Okay.
Hindi ka makaka-proceed sa payment if hindi completed yung mga yun. Okay lang si OET kung wala pa.
Wala pa.
Yeah.
Tupalo. Okay, so
Yes.
when you click that apply and pay, and it will go through the payment page here at the bottom. It says applications available for purchase. That's the CVS, NCNZ, and then you tick this box, and then there's also another button there which says proceed to payment. You just click that one, and then syempre pa, credit card page na.
Bayad.
Yes. Uy, may nagtanong sa akin about credit cards na parang peso yung nasa credit card nila. Okay lang naman yun, di ba?
Okay, si bank na yung mag-convert if
Oo.
ever.
Baka may dagdag lang ng konting mga fees.
Malamang.
And then tama ba yun? After you pay, you will receive an email na sabi, you have successfully applied and paid for your orders. Tapos there's instruction on how to complete the forms.
Yes.
Okay. So you can see the forms sa dito na tayo sa forms ng identity, education, license, and employment. You will see the forms dito sa kabila. You will see the forms on the application status tracker. Ganito yung itsura niya if you're viewing it from a desktop. And otherwise, if you're viewing it from a mobile phone, ganito yung kanyang itsura. So, nakalagay dyan, may mga forms, may mga documents na kailangan, identity, tatlo pala to. Kasi meron siyang passport, driver's license, at saka marriage certificate. So, kung ano yung fill up mo sa profile page, parang nag-pre-filled na lang siya dito. Tama ba yun?
Yes. Lalabas na siya dyan. Sila na magbibigay.
Kailangan to i-notarize, di ba?
Yes. Ipapa-notarize yung form. Yung may form din kasi si CGFNS. Papa-fill up mo yun dun sa nagnonotaryo. And then, I personally added din yung ID, tapos may parang certified true copy, something ganun.
Okay. So, once na naka-true copy na yun, upload lang here. I will go back, a slide back, just to show you kung ano yung mga forms na sinabmit. So, again, just recapping first. Nag-create ng account, kinomplete si profile, nagbayad, and now nakatanggap ka ng email to submit the forms to CGFNS. You can access this to your application tracker status. Merong identity, education, license, and then employment. So each of these forms actually have different sections. Yung part A ng lahat ng forms na ito will have information about personal information. And then part B, laman lang nun kung ano man yung title ng topic nung pinapa-fill up sa inyo, kung for education, kung for registration, and kung for employment. And then part C is the identification of official. Ito yung kunyari, di ba pag education, kung sa school, sino ba nag-verify niyan?
Ako sa experience ko, registrar at saka yung Institute of Nursing, parang nag-exchange sila eh. Parang si registrar muna and then sinubmit niya yung ibang forms kay Institute of Nursing and then binalik niya kay registrar, gano'n. So kaya medyo mahaba-habang proseso.
Yeah, I have actually purposely not included it in this video kasi parang nobela na ito. So sa next time, kapag may day off ulit sa Nurse Ruru, pag-usapan natin yung mga forms specifically. So anyway, we're just going to go through the overview of the forms para lang may idea tayo. So ito yung mga sample na sinabi ko kanina. Now, with the new CGFNS update, may update talaga. There's an option for notary cam. Do you know how it works, Nurse Ruru?
Actually, meron dyan sa, pag yan, makikita nila dun sa link dun sa baba, meron nakalagay na, yan, yun yung link ng notary cam. Tapos pagka nag-enter sila dyan, yun, nandun naman yung instructions, straightforward din siya. Parang $25 US dollars siya per copy. So if meron ka sigurong mga 3 or 4, yun, bale magbabayad ka $100. Yun, so as for the instructions, hindi ko siya kakabisado pero I can share. Since wala nga siya nakitang comments about the process ng notary cam, ito siya share na niya. So, sa mga ayaw pong ma-hassle tulad niya, kasi mga nasa Abu Dhabi siya, medyo mahal yata in magastos kapag pupunta pa sila sa embassy. Tapos yung time, scheduling, pamasahe, effort, mag-take pa ng leave. Ito daw ang sulit, notary cam. So, ang process is you have to create an account through notarycam.com, upload your original CGFNS form, unsigned, and identity documents. Sa kanya, sa part niya, ang sinabit niya was passport and marriage certificate. Tapos, once uploaded, she clicks Start Notary Process. Then you will have to accomplish and fill in details on another window. Once done, they will assign a notary to you and you will have to meet him via video call. So, kailangan po naka-Chrome browser kayo and may available na webcam on your computer or laptop. Tapos, prepare your original documents before accepting the meeting invite. Huwag kayo gumaya sa akin or sa kanya na nataranta daw at yung passport lang yung na-prepare niya. So, tumakbo pa siya para kunin yung marriage certificate niya. So, siguro before the before the video call, prepare na lahat. And then, imi-meet niyo po yung notary and you will state your name, date of birth, address. Tapos, ipapakita niyo po yung original documents sa kanya. Then, papa-swear po kayo na totoo lahat ng details sa CGFNS form. And you will follow his instructions to parang electronically sign it, the document. Yung dun siguro dun sa notarial attestation form. And then sa case niya, since may 2 identity documents siyang sinubmit, nagbayad siya ng $50. So she has 8 pages in total. Documents will be notarized in front of your eyes. Best thing is they will be the one to send it to CGFNS. So not sure when it will be received by CGFNS, but we'll update you later on. Yun lang po. So yun, shinare niya yung buong process.
That's
Thank
really
you,
good.
Kathleen.
Thank you, Kathleen. Yes. Sana minsan dalaw ka dito sa YouTube channel ko. So tayo.
Yeah, si Kathleen Di Malanta. Yung husband niya kasi classmate ko ng college.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really great.
Yes.
Tapos ano ba yun? Recorded ba yun? Yung parang Zoom na yun? Or not really? Parang susumpa ka lang in front of that person and then yun na yun, notarized na?
Not sure about it. Parang hindi ko na-share niya yun. Siguro baka hindi naman.
Baka hindi naman,
Pero
no?
yun, parang siguro prepare lang talaga, no? Sayang sa time.
Totoo.
Yun.
And yun nga.
Pero sabi nga niya, less effort and convenient.
Yeah, and I think it's legitimate naman kasi makikita mo naman siya sa CGFNS website as parang accredited vendor nila, parang ganyan. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and see if meron pa. Marami akong nalimutan, I feel. But anyway, we'll just go through it isa-isa. So, sa education, nasabi mo na kung sino mag-verify. License and registration, PRC yan. Tapos sa employment, anong kailangan rank ng person na nagko-complete ng information na to? Kailangan ba yung may-ari ng hospital? Ano ba to?
Di naman. Actually, may mga nag-share sa group na parang ang nag-sign for them was yung parang mas senior na nurse, charge nurse, head nurse, supervisor, not necessarily HR. Pero syempre, HR okay naman.
Preference,
Kumbaga, basta anyone who's authorized na, kumbaga siguro mas superior sa'yo, mas alam kung ano yung, alam mo yun. So, feeling ko okay naman. Tapos parang commonly din, tinatanong nila yung about the seal, yung, di ba parang sa last page kasi parang nakalagay na ilalagay doon yung official stamp or seal.
Yep.
Kung mababasa nila yung form, ang nakalagay naman is, I think, nakalagay doon is if available naman. So, parang hindi siya totally necessary na may stamp. Basta ang mahalaga is may signature nung nag-fill up ng form and may date. Yun yung pinaka-importante. Pero sa case ni employment lang yung pwede na walang stamp, okay lang. Siguro bawi na lang dun sa envelope na kumbaga enclosed nun, mag-seal na lang ng siguro yung signature dun sa envelope or something na parang official talaga siya.
True. Because di ba dapat organization to CGFNS, di ba? You can't actually send this as an individual, no? Yeah. May encounter ka ba na parang applicant na siya ang nag-send sa CGFNS?
Meron din naman, pero make sure niya na ang sender, ang nakalagay was yung
organization.
Hospital.
Oo.
Yes, yung
may seal. Siguro, sinasabi nila na may seal yung envelope, parang ganyan, no? Kung ikaw magpapadala. Para mukhang formal din na yun nga. Definitely na galing sa organization, not just you. If you guys are looking at this slide, I hope you're not confused. I feel like you will be. I created this slide in a hurry. But just know that these forms, itong education, may sarili siyang Part A, Part B, and Part C. And then the same thing for license registration, may sarili siyang Part A, Part B, Part C. Employment, ganun din, Part A, Part B, Part C, ha? Tapos sa education, ito yung medyo madugo ng konti because you have to provide, yung school mo has to provide syllabus, ganyan. Meron ka bang na-encounter na difficulty sa school mo na parang, ano ba naman to? Ba't ang dami nito?
Oo, oo. Meron naman, I think, ako swerte ko na lang din was FEU knew about dun sa process and ano yung
Mm.
requirements pag sinabi mo na yung application is for the CGFNS Nursing Council of New Zealand.
Oo.
Alam na nila kung ano yung mga requirements,
That's
alam na nila
good.
yung submit. So madali na. Ang nag-share was yung sa mga ibang school na
Mm-mm.
parang siguro yung hindi common sa kanila yung yung encounter na to. Parang sinasabi na cannot submit yung syllabus, ganyan, or Meron sa form, I think, sa education form, I think on the second page or third page, parang meron doon na parang, if you cannot provide yung parang syllabus, parang please state the reason why. Parang so pwedeng maglagay naman ng reason yung school doon,
Tama.
kung bakit hindi sila makapag-provide.
Mm-hmm.
Makikita naman nila sa form yun eh. So, yun. Tapos, ano pa ba yung meron ding mga school na hindi ayaw nila signan yung form ng CGFNS.
Mm-mm.
Siguro hindi sila komportable kasi hindi nga common for them.
Mm-mm.
Siguro ang gawin na lang yung applicant is mag-create siya ng ticket.
Mm-mm.
Yun sa support. Yun.
Mag-create ng parang question, mag-raise ng question sa CGFNS.
Oh. Kasi para malaman nila kung ano yung pwedeng ibigay na options ni CGFNS for them since hindi supportive or hindi cooperative yung school nila. Ganun.
Totoo. Tapos magkano binayad mo dun? Nabayad ka ba sa FEU for them to complete this form and then send it to CGFNS? Magkano
Oo.
yan?
Nung time ko, parang nasa around 9,000 yung inabot. Kasi,
Pesos?
Kasi yung sa courier fee was like 5,000 na alone. Kasi yung syllabus was like this thick, ganyan, parang makapal siya, ganyan. Tapos parang, ako ay, swerte ko din ay na-meet ko yung, not na-meet, pero kumbaga nagpatulong ako dun sa Kabayan Errand Runner, parang an agency sa Pilipinas. Since hindi na ako willing to risk any one of my friends or family para mag-ayos sa akin. Tapos, ayun, siguro kaya nagmahal kasi ang kapal. Pero parang sulit na lang din kasi ang bilis naman eh.
Yeah, totoo.
Na-process agad. Alam na nila yung gagawin. So, okay na.
Tapos sa license registration, magkano ang bayad sa PRC? Alam na rin ba nila agad how to complete this as well?
Yes, familiar sila. Parang you need to pagdating mo lang sa PRC, I think may fill up ka yung statement verification form ng PRC. And then, ipapasa mo lang din yung CGFNS form. I think all in all, ang babayaran mo was like 75 pesos. If I'm not mistaken, may binayaran 200. Hindi ko maalala kung ano yun. Basta parang 75 at saka 200. Tapos, syempre, yung courier fee. Pipili ka between FedEx or DHL. I think mas expensive si DHL. Parang nasa 2,000 plus, if I'm not mistaken, parang ganon. So, yun. Sila na rin ang magsasubmit. Parang sa akin, it took them like 10 days.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's not bad. Tapos sa employer mo, may binayaran ka din doon for them to complete
Wala naman na. Courier na lang. Courier fee na lang.
Okay. Paano mo pala binigay itong mga forms na to sa kanila?
Ayun. Actually, ako, wala ako nung time ko na ginagawa to, hindi pa ganun ka-active yung group yung sa group chat. So parang nag-risk lang ako na ang ginawa ko is nag-e-signature ako dun sa first page kasi parang you're required to sign yung first page.
Totoo.
Yan. So I signed it. E-signature pa yun. So electronic signature and date, okay naman. Wala akong naging problema. And then, in-email ko, since ako I used yung Kabayan Errand Runner. So, sinubmit ko sa kanila lahat and then for the authorization letter and kung ano yung mga requirements ni Kabayan Errand Runner para ma-process niya. For me, sa employer ko, parang in-input ko sa email para hindi na siya mahirapan kasi it might take time din kasi pagka nag-struggle siya dun sa form. So parang medyo tinulungan ko na siya na ito po yung ilalagay niyo sa form, ganito, ganyan. So it was parang helpful for that person. Nakapag-sign, na-sign niya agad, natapos niya. And yung sinubmit niya was typewritten, lahat. So ang wet signature lang. Yun lang yung naiba. Yung signature niya, wet signature and yung date. The rest was typewritten. Okay naman, walang problema kay CGFNS.
That's good. Ito pala yung sinabi mo kanina, no? Sa baba niya, ngayon ko lang napansin, parang nakalagay doon, this form is valid for the below person and the authority. So, yun nga na pre-filled talaga siya. So, kunyari, FEU, ilalagay nila dito, Nurse Ruru and FEU. Tapos, kabila na naman, Nurse Ruru and kung ano man yung employer mo. So, okay.
Talagang para sa'yo siya.
I became a registered nurse here in New Zealand 2012. Nung panahon namin, wala pang paganto-ganto. You apply directly to Nursing Council. Oo, walang mga CGFNS. Pero yun nga, it might appear tedious kasi parang ang dami mong steps that you have to go through. But just bear in mind, guys, if being a nurse in New Zealand is really something that you want to do, I say you commit on these steps kasi if naiisip nyo ngayon na parang mahal mag-CAP, mahirap yung proseso, may imamahal pa ang CAP at may ihihirap pa ang proseso. Kasi nung time ko, when I applied, feeling ko ang mahal na ng CAP, I think it was $5,000 for the CAP. 6 weeks. Sabi ko, mahal naman nito. Parang pwede na ako magpa-lipo. Tapos, ang hirap ng process kasi mag-fill up pa ako ng mga kung anik-anik na isasend directly sa Nursing Council. But, 9 years later, we have the CGFNS CAP course cost mga $8,000 to $11,000. And, you can never tell. Baka in 3-5 years time, baka may pa-OSCE na dito, baka may NCLEX ng kasama. Because Australia has that. And, it's kind of likely that New Zealand will follow suit, diba? Hindi natin ma-predict yan. So, yun. Yun lang. Gusto ko lang sabihin.
Kung kaya nyo gawin ngayon, do it now.
Oo. Kasi learn from my experience before na yun nga, sabi ko, akala ko mahal na, may mamahal pa. So, frequently asked questions about completing those forms. Meron nagtanong sa akin before, kung paano kung yung employer mo ayaw mag-fill up ng form. Sabi ko, tanongin mo yung CGFNS. Tapos,
tama yan.
Ito yung reply sa kanya. Ayaw ng employer to fill up the forms. A certificate of employment can be accepted instead. Yun ang sabi. Tapos kung hindi nila ma-send directly to their office, pero they will issue it to you personally, you may request that they follow these instructions. Tapos may instructions din na binigay sa kanila. So I think raising the ticket or asking a question directly to CGFNS once na may mga complex situation ka na ma-encounter would really help. No? Ikaw, ano naman experience mo with other applicants na nakakausap?
Ako, I think just to add dun sa nagkwento sa'yo, ma'am, na parang siguro make sure na you create a ticket. Although alam mo na yung process kasi na-share sa group or may nag-share sa'yo na, ganito pinagawa sa akin ng CGFNS. I guess it's important na, kumbaga meron kang ebidensya na ito yung instructions ni CGFNS and it's parang personalized din siya for you.
Yes.
So, para in the event na magkaroon ng problema, meron kang mababalikan na, ito kasi yung binigay niya sa akin instructions. Kumbaga, it's black and white.
Correct.
Kumbaga, magsasave din ng time kasi si CGFNS very lately medyo mabagal yung proseso nila siguro because of the COVID and baka work from home sila, gano'n. So parang sobrang tagal. So anything na mapapadali din for you, mapapabilis, yun, siguro create your ticket na din agad right away kung alam mong ayaw ni employer. Very common for SG nurses, I believe.
Is the notes. Meron silang sinasabi para pag-close na yung pinagtrabahuhan nilang outpatient clinic. Nagbigay na po ako ng verifying access sa OET account ko para ma-access ng CGFNS pero hindi pa rin daw nila makita. Na-encounter mo na to?
I think hindi ko sure kung paano hindi nila makita, kung tipong nag-communicate na ba sila sa CGFNS. Ako kasi personally, what I did was, inalaw ko both si CGFNS and si Nursing Council para no questions na. Doon sa mismong portal ng OET.
Verification institution. So,
although ang instructions lang naman sa email was just the CGFNS. Pero pabibo kasi ako. So, in-add ko sa Nursing Council.
Okay.
Yun. So, tapos after nyan, naggawa ako ng ticket, letting them know na parang na-add ko na sila as parang, kumbaga nabigyan ko na sila ng access to verify my results sa OET. And then right away, parang the next day, okay na, needs requirement na. But this was like February. Tama. Oh, yeah. So, ngayon yata kahit ganun yung gawin, parang minsan inaabot ng 3 to 5 days. Medyo
Talaga,
matagal.
no? So ito yun, guys. Ha, by the way, I'm just going to show you this application status tracker na as you are submitting the relevant forms, as you are uploading the documents and the files, ganito yung magiging itsura niya, parang meets requirement, meets requirement. Hindi ko alam kung kaninong screenshot ko to nakuha, but meron pa siyang documentation needed dito, kaya parang 90% complete pa lang siya. But on this other side here, yung sa mobile view. Ito kay Nurse Ruro to, kita niya naman, no, 100%, no further action required, o, di ba?
Yes. Oo, kasi tapos na eh.
Ano pa bang mga common question nila sa inyo dyan?
Usual timeline for creating tickets. Siguro, usual timeline pag nag-create ka ng ticket ngayon, it was like 3 to 5 days. Minsan it may take weeks. Depending
Talaga.
on sa nagpa-process. So, kailangan talaga ng maraming patience. Hindi talaga sila yung kagaya before na parang mag-submit ako ng US time zone na oras. Like 1 a.m. sa atin sa New Zealand. Few hours after, may reply na kagad ako eh. So, napaprocess ko siya kagad. Ngayon, yun, medyo matagal. So, talagang kailangan ng patience. UCFNS timeline for the report to be available for approval. So, once na-complete na kasi yung requirements, so, mag-create sa CGFNS ng report na isasubmit nila for Nursing Council. But before they submit it, parang they will ask for an approval sa'yo kung tama na ba yung lahat ng information. So, you have to check it several times para sure. So, once na satisfied ka na and pwede mo na yan i-approve. Ako, in my experience, parang I approved it on a weekend, Friday. And then, come by Monday, naka-receive na ako ng email from Nursing Council ng invitation to apply. So, mabilis lang naman siya. I guess.
So I think ito yung report na pinakita mo, no? Parang ito yung summary ng CGFNS. And then the next part is the email from Nursing Council New Zealand saying, congratulations, follow these steps. Parang alam mo kung ano ang susunod na gagawin.
Yes.
Next ka, pagkita mo dito.
Yes, syempre kasi parang kumbaga, yung parang every step na na-accomplish mo, parang nagtitake up kasi kumbaga may bucket list ka na, tapos ko ng part na to, tapos ko na to. So, yeah, it's very satisfying. Although, for me, sa application ko, ang pinakamahaba sa application ko was with the Nursing Council, sa experience ko.
After ng CGFNS, mas mahaba yung sa step ng Nursing Council. Talaga?
Kasi like, yan, dyan sa letter nakalagay is you will be assigned to a case manager within 25 business days. And sa akin talagang nasulat yung 25 business days. And I know some na it took them like lesser, like 20 or 15 days may case manager na sila.
Talaga?
So, it varies. Sa PN din siguro, I don't know. And then, meron after nun, di ba, parang your application will be assessed within 40 business days. Ako, it took me like 28 business days. But I know some who, parang siguro yung pinaka-maigse was like 2 days lang. Nakuha na niya yung cup letter niya. Parang gano'n.
Talaga? Wow.
So,
that's quick.
Iba talaga. Iba-iba.
Kailan mo ba na-receive itong invitation mo sa Nursing Council?
I think March.
Okay.
15, parang ganun.
Oo. Iisip ko kasi kung holiday ba nito sa New Zealand? Bakit ang haba ng break?
Ito pala, speaking of holiday, thank you. If holiday sa New Zealand, kailangan mo i-minus account yon. Kasi wala, hindi siya business day for New Zealand.
May ibang questions pa ba dyan? Ano bang masasabi mo?
Ayun, may nagtatanong din. Okay lang ba na i-print yung form, CGFNS form ng black and white? Does it have to be colored? I don't think it's parang it's specified dun sa handbook na kailangan colored, kailangan black and white. So I don't think it matters. Siguro mas importante yung laman. Tapos may nagtanong din, can I include 2 sealed envelopes? Meaning, halimbawa meron siyang employer and TRC. Gusto submit in one DHL. I mean in one courier.
Para makatipid.
Yes. Ako, I didn't experience it. I honestly did not recommend it at first kasi nga parang 'di ba parang kung ako yung sasenda ng dodgy, bakit mo pinagsama di ibig sabihin ikaw lang nag-send yan, hindi yung school.
Oo nga.
So pero may mga nakapag-share na parang nagawa nila yon. Ang ginawa is parang dapat lang talaga fully sealed yung employment and yung PRC, kumbaga hindi mo siya na-open, hindi mo siya ano, tapos pinasama nila sa isang shipping.
Hindi tampered, kumbaga.
Oo, yes. Okay naman, nag-meets naman sila, so kung sa kanila nag-work, maaaring mag-work din, pero ako, I personally did not experience it, just sharing.
Oo, parang
Ayun.
I
Kasi ang
think you have
hassle,
to,
baka mamaya ma-reject.
you have to balance it kung how much stress can you possess. Kasi kanya-kanya
True.
naman tayong stress level. Sa iba, baka kaya nila mentally i-handle yun.
Correct.
Parang
Ako
ganyan.
hindi ko kaya. Not recommended at first, pero well, I don't know if I would recommend it now. It's up to you. So, yun. Syempre, basta siguro yung sender, make sure nila na hindi sila yung sender.
Correct.
Yun yung number one. Ayun, parang may nagtatanong din,
Oo.
pipiliin ba nila is yung standard, kasi dun sa dulo ng form, makikita is parang may standard mail courier address, parang
yeah.
ganun, or
Ito posting mail address or by courier.
Yes. Yan. Syempre, kung gusto mo lang ng standard mail, that would be on the postal mailing address. Pero syempre tayo gusto natin mabilisan, doon tayo sa courier. So yan yung pinili na. Ako, personally, yan lang lahat lang pinili ko via DHL.
Totoo.
May katanong LBC, okay lang ba? May naka-experience naman ng LBC, okay naman, nag-work naman sa kanila. Pero ako, kung kaya mo na mag-DHL and FedEx, mas mabilis for me.
Totoo. Is it secured as well? Do you have a tracking number when you use courier?
Yes. And makikita mo kung nasa na siya. Ako, nakita ko na nandun na siya sa Hong Kong, nakita ko na napunta na siya sa Washington, nakita ko na na-delivered na siya, pati kung sino nag-receive. Parang, so for me, parang sulit naman si DHL.
It gives you a peace of mind. Wala kaming commission, DHL. Baka in the future.
Yes, baka naman.
Hindi English natin para maintindihan nila. DHL, make it happen.
Yun, yung third-party agencies. Kasi mostly like ako, in my experience, nasa New Zealand na ako, noong time na nag-process ako. Buti na lang may nagpo-post sa Pinoy Nurses and NZ, yung Kabayan Errand Runner.
Yep.
So, ginamit ko yung services nila and I'm very, very satisfied kasi it was really hassle-free. Kasi I was initially planning to ask my friend to do it for me. So, parang inisip ko, papadalan ko siya ng for meals, transpo, and then, syempre, pakimkim kasi tinulungan ka niya, di ba? Kaya naman, yung day mo na-spend niya, di ba? Tapos, yun, parang nag-worry lang ako, syempre, yung may expose siya. At the same time, kung kailan lang siya available na magawa yun for me. So, parang nainip ako, parang maghirap. Tapos, baka pagdating niya doon, syempre, mangangapadan siya sa process kasi hindi naman niya yung normally ginagawa. So, parang bumalik pa siya ulit. So, panibagong gastos ulit. So, for me, it's very hassle-free na kinuha ko yung services ng Kabayan Errand Runner. I'm not connected to them. Just
ako, I will be.
Pero kumbaga kasi ako, parang I trusted na alam na nila yung process.
Yeah.
So, it's parang easier na rin for them. Kumbaga lesser din yung exposure for them kasi alam na nila yung gagawin nila. Tuloy-tuloy na, one day lang tapos na. And true enough, parang after 2 weeks, nandun na yung mga papers ko sa CGFNS. Yun. Pero you can, syempre, you're free to choose naman kung sinong gusto mong services na kunin, diba?
And then i-share ko lang dito, this was a message from Nurse Ro. She's a Singapore nurse. Ang ginawa naman niya, nagpasuyo lang siya sa kapatid niya. So, gumawa siya ng special power of attorney. Charge is 200 pesos ang bayad sa PRC. Then may courier na din sa loob ng PRC, 1,915 pesos yung bayad. Tapos sabi ko, bakit special power of attorney pa? Akala ko yung mga authorization letter. Tapos sabi niya, if yung if the person na magpa-process ng paper mo, walang PRC license, kailangan pala special power of authority. Pero kung may PRC, pwede na yung authorization letter.
Meron na nagtanong, do I need a qualifying exam for CGFNS? Siyempre, wala na. Kasi di ba parang sa States, may CGFNS, parang exam for NCLEX, parang ganun. Yun yung impression nila pag narinig nila yung CGFNS exam, parang ganun.
True.
CGFNS is refundable? Hindi. It's refundable. Can it be reactivated? Yes. You can refer to the handbook. It's $120. Tapos, who gets exempted sa CAP? Ito medyo kaliwas pala ito sa CGFNS, pero nalagay ko siya sa listahan ko, sorry. Who gets exempted sa CAP? Yun nga, yung na-mention mo kanina, di ba, parang sila UK, Ireland nurses, US nurses, some SG nurses, actually most SG nurses, kapag may at least 2 years experience, saka yung mga nasa Middle East na matatagal na, Tapos kung
Yeah.
ICU nurse pa lalo, may mga nakilala ko na na-exempt sila for the CAP.
Mm,
Pero syempre, through CGFNS pa rin ang application kasi nila eh. Kasi
correct.
nursing council na nga magde-decide kung
That's correct.
exempted ba
So yeah,
sila.
the role of CGFNS is just to verify that your documents is true and correct. Otherwise, the decision kung magka-cap ka ba or hindi relies on the nursing council when they review your application. So although we say that in most cases, nurses from United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, Singapore, USA, or Canada may not need to complete CAP, it's not 100% because they will look at the years of experience na tinapos mo. I think there are some USRNs in the Philippines na hindi nag-practice talaga sa US but they have USRN license. If you do apply for registration in New Zealand, you're more likely to do
Yes.
CAP actually if you didn't practice in United States at all. Actually, may nag-ask din pala sa akin before if you have completed a CGFNS application pero for US, kailangan mo pa bang magbayad pa din for New Zealand? And the answer is yes, you have to pay for the New Zealand application kasi it's different application.
Definitely.
But they might look at and review some of your documents and use it for your New Zealand application, but you still have to pay for the registration fee.
Amen. Diba, yung syllabus kasi medyo thick. So, nagtanong if pwede bang USB or CD ang gamitin nila
Okay.
to submit. I think parang nakalagay ata doon sa form. Hindi ko maalala pero parang, correct me if I'm wrong, pero alam ko nandun sa CGFNS form sa education history, parang nakalagay doon na pwede mo siyang isubmit ng naka-USB or CD. The thing is, pagdating mo sa DHL, ayaw nila kasi parang sa Media Something Act, parang ganun. Kalimutan ko yung exact Pero yun, parang hindi nila inaalaw. May mga nakagawa, pero yun.
Sayang naman, no? So,
sa...
it's the courier ang hindi mag-allow. Okay, courier company ang hindi mag-allow.
Parang sabi nila si FedEx hindi daw as strict as DHL. Pero ako kasi, I personally, kung kaya ko siya na i-print ko na lang, kasi baka mamaya pagdating doon yung USB, alam mo yun, Oo, masabi eh. So, unlike kung naka-hard copy na siya, baka mas okay. So, well, kanya-kanyang option yan. So, kung matapang-tapang ka talaga, go.
Totoo, you can give it a try if you want.
Yes. OET clubbing. Of course.
Yes.
Yes, tanggap naman siya. Actually, nandun naman siya sa Nursing Council website na allowed yung club scores as long as siguro taken siya within 1 year.
12 months from each other, no?
Yes. Tapos, may mga schools pa rin naman na nag-accept. Wala namang problema. Siguro basta lang, kumbaga valid pa din yung date, hindi pa siya expired. Okay pa rin naman sa kanila yung clubbing. Tapos, may nagtanong din if OET paper versus OET computer.
Yep.
May nagtanong sa CGFNS about it. Sinabi na only OET paper ang accepted. They do not accept. They do not accept OET computer as of the moment. Actually, pag nakita din sa website ng OET, nakalagay doon ano yung mga tumatanggap na mga institutions ng OET. Nakalagay talaga doon na parang pag sa New Zealand, parang paper ang accepted. Tapos, dagdag ko lang din yung kanina, di ba, parang kung makaka-proceed ka ba with OET, without the OET sa payment, yes, makaka-proceed ka, basta keep in mind that yung CGFNS mo is 1 year lang yung validity. So, dapat makapag-exam ka within that 1 year.
Correct.
Kasi kung hindi, magpapa-reactivate ka pa. So, parang siguro allow yourself na, or parang give mo yung sarili mo ng mga, hindi mo kasi masabi kung one take eh. Diba? Parang, pag nag-take ka ngayon, results mo will be coming out 3 weeks after. Tapos, after nun, kung bumagsak ka, mag-receipt ka ng ilang subtest, it will take you another few weeks to book and then results. So, siguro dapat meron kang enough time bago mag-expire.
Tama.
Yun.
Balikan ko lang sa license and registration na part. If you are from Abu Dhabi, sabi lang sa akin ni Vanessa, I think she tried to email yung parang PRC counterpart sa Abu Dhabi. I'm sorry, hindi ako familiar sa mga department. But sabi lang nung parang organization, because of the existing situation, they're not filling up or signing any verification forms until further notice from management. For any license verification inquiries, you may recommend this email to the Overseas Licensing Authority. They may contact us directly in this email for license verification. Tapos parang your DOH GSC alone has been forwarded to CGFNS. So parang yun yung sinabi nilang ginawa nila instead of completing that form. Tapos it costs 103 AED for Abu Dhabi Certificate of Good Standing, which can be requested online through TAMM app. It took 11 days to reply, but like 7 working days to be exact. So ayan, yung isang option nyo. Tapos, ang dami kasing licensure body, no? Sana may summary. Ano bang gagawin ko kung taga-Qatar ako? Ganyan. Tignan ko lang kung meron pa akong ibang licensure body dito. I think yung isa pa is Singapore, but madali lang naman yun, no? SNB, Singapore Nursing Board. And
meron pa yung Tawasul.
Yan, Saudi naman yan, ano? So, ayan, try nyo lang i-connect kung hindi nag-fill up ng form ang inyong school, ang inyong registration body, or ang inyong employer. Just raise a ticket sa CGFNS. And ito na nga, dito tayo sa page na ito. So, mapapansin nyo, when you go to my profile, may section there for support. And ito lang, no, submit a request. Tapos anong kasunod nito na screenshot? Parang magko-question ka lang, ganyan.
Yes, parang pili ka, ano yung specific question mo ba talaga? Siguro piliin mo lang yung specific na inquiry mo, parang kung halimbawa, gusto mong malaman about your identity documents, if enough na ba, or may questions ka about the English language proficiency. Siguro yun ay pipiliin mong tab, I mean, na para doon direkta na yung question mo. Kasi yun ka, parang may tinatanong sila, ano ibig sabihin? Pag gumawa ka siya ng ticket, makikita mo doon opened, parang nag-open ka ng ticket. And then after that, meron assigned, meaning siguro baka yung nag-open ng ticket, hindi siya yung assigned person for that. So, i-assign niya for the specific person na mag-resolve ng inquiry mo. And then once resolved na yung ticket mo, magiging resolved na yung parang ticket. And then eventually they will close it pag wala ka naman ng further questions or wala kang mga, kumbaga wala kang additional information pa. So, yun. Yan. Basta tingin lang nila kung anong specific.
Yes. At syempre pa, kung may question kayo at nasagot yung question nyo, i-share nyo naman sa amin. I actually want to thank Nurse Ruru. She created a group chat na by stages, by step 1, by step 1.5, step 2. And I think it's really helpful kasi it's very engaging kasi syempre iba-iba naman tayo ng stages sa application or in case ko, tapos na ako mag-apply.
Correct.
Si Ruru, tapos na din dyan, magka-cap na siya. So, diba, iba-iba tayo ng stages.
May co-admin at Damaris. Created another 1.5 na para meron pa ulit na for general increase. Kung makabayad na sila, they'll move up to sa stage 2 for the CGFNS. Kasi parang hindi nakaka-flood yung questions. Kasi minsan, di ba parang may nagtanong about OET, may nagtanong about CGFNS, may magtatanong about CAP, may magtatanong.
True, it's a bit different.
Sabog-sabog yung questions, tapos ang ending, hindi naman nila natatandaan.
Totoo.
Kasi hindi sila ng level pa ng application. Right. So, mas maganda yung naging hiwa-hiwalay kasi pare-parehas, and kung papunta ka pa lang doon sa process na yun, naiintindihan mo na, okay, madadaan pala yung may encounter ko sa future. So, it was really helpful. Open pa yung group, pwede pa naman mag-add. So, kung mapuno, mag-add tayo ulit ng isa pang group kasi hindi lang, kumbaga maraming tumutulong. It's really nice na parang naging community siya of Filipino nurses na parang gustong mag-share ng experiences nila. Kumbaga, everyday may bagong learning na, pwede pala yun.
Yun nga, you have to be a member sa Facebook ng Pinoy Nurses in New Zealand, and they've been really helpful. They've been a really good community. Sila Ate Mel, sila Sir Emon, all the moderators and administrators there, si Ate Christian. Shoutout sa inyong lahat, yung mga walang bayad. Yes. Wala lang pa t-shirt, pa kape, pero you're just on your extra time. But otherwise, please do check the comment section below. There is a link there for the Nursing Council website and then for CGFNS website as well. Any final message sa ating mga applicant?
kumbaga, ang daming opportunities ngayon. Yung shortage talagang obvious kasi ang daming openings. So,
Totoo.
feeling ko this is the perfect time na magtuloy. Huwag ma-discourage kapag ang haba ng proseso. Magastos, expect na yon yung gastos. Ayun lang, marami namang tutulong and eventually, ikaw din makakatulong. Ako ay personally, gusto ko na parang i-share, short lang, na parang mula nang ginawa ko yung mga groups. Sobrang dami nung, God bless you ma'am, God bless you, God bless you. Ang dami nang nagsabi. Nung feeling ko, naipon talaga siya and I felt like talagang blessed, naging blessed ako. So parang very thankful ako sa lahat na nag-God bless sa akin. So feeling ko, yun, parang talagang effective yung pay it forward kapag talagang you share then eventually babalik siya sa'yo. So, do not expect, syempre. Pero, kumbaga, hindi mawawala yung marirealize mo na lang na parang, siguro talagang it was a blessing na marami kang natulungan. Yan. And it's really a nice feeling. And eventually, makikita natin ng isa't isa dito, maging workmates.
Ililibre nyo kami! Woo! Regular natin lang ako, masaya na ako.
Workmates, diba? Tapos, ako, I personally, parang may mga naging friends ako dahil sa group, yung mga co-admins ko, sila Maris, shout out na din, no? Sila Maris, Pat, Jerry, and Shara. Yun, so parang ako very thankful ako din na naging part ako ng group and makapag-share. Thank you din for this opportunity na makapag-share and hopefully mas marami tayong matulungan na gusto makapunta dito.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy and this is our daughter Arabella.
Hi everyone!
Keep supporting my wife. Click and subscribe.
Magsisubscribe na yan! Subscribe! Magsisubscribe na yan!
Bye guys! So see you again next week. Bye!